band.
The long and the short of it is this.
Because you've asked for it.
Bob Corker is just doing the bidding of the resistance.
The Laura Ingraham Show is back on AM 1680, The Answer.
Clintons and the Obamas. The resistance resides among the Bushes.
Listen to America's #1 female conservative talk show host, Laura Ingraham. Weekdays, noon to 3.
AM 1680, The Answer.
Do you believe that kids today need a caring adult in their lives? Hi, this is Ed Kazmarek with Fresno Madera Youth for Christ. We believe kids need more than that. It takes at least 7 caring adults, a parent, a coach, a pastor, a YFC mentor, to help kids along the difficult journey of being a teenager. Life can be overwhelming. The Youth for Christ team serves at over 35 ministry sites across Fresno and Madera counties, bringing the good news of hope in Jesus Christ. Support Youth for Christ. Visit yfcnow.org today.
From AM 1680, The Answer, this is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. And now, here's your host, Lance Cardoza.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM 1680, The Answer. You're listening to Business Leaders Live. I'm Lance Cardoza, and we have an exciting show for you. I'm very... I become humbled and very excited every year as we get closer to the Business Street's 40 Under 40. It's been over a decade of honorees, 40 different honorees that we've celebrated their wins in the business community throughout the Central California area. And Business Street is hosting that event at Bitwise South Stadium on December 7th. And if you want to look at the class of 2017, every year, when we get the alumni committee together, the selection committee, we say, are we going to find another really good class? And there's a couple honorees out there from the past, like Sarah Moffett, and I always give Sarah props. And Sarah goes, oh, there's never going to be a class as good as my class. There's never going to be a good, but every year, a very impressive class just percolates. It comes up and the selection committee just goes, wow, I've never even heard of this person. And look at their accolades and look what they've done already before the age of 40. So we're excited to celebrate the wins of the 40 Under 40 class of 2017. And in studio with me right now is Kristina Garabedian. She's with Shoebox Sharing, also an attorney, very involved with boards and everything that you do. Very impressive. And Kristina, I'm very excited to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me today. It's
we love talking about the wins of our 40 Under 40. And a lot of times you were probably shocked when you were recognized in the 40 Under 40. And when it comes to you, sometimes I think, oh, there's so many other people out there that can be recognized. And your mind starts thinking about people. And I'm sure you're one of those. That when you found out, was it a shock to you?
I was shocked and very humbled, especially when I saw the list of everybody else who was recognized this year. And it's already got me thinking of who I'd like to nominate for next year.
And that's a good, I'm glad you said that because I get that question all the time. People think about, oh, how about this person? And a lot of times people think too, they've had to be recognized before. And some people have almost not made the list and barely got in. But this year, if you have somebody for the class of 2018, January 1st, you can go to 40U40. That's 40, the letter U, 40.com, and you can nominate someone. It's a 250-word description on why you feel they should be honored. So, Kristina, keep those people in mind. But on December 7th, downtown Fresno, you're going to be recognized with 39 others in the 2017 class. And we're excited to have you. But you've got a great story. We were talking a little bit before the show. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing and how did you get to the point of Shoebox Sharing and your inspiration to become an attorney, and give us your story.
So I've been born and raised in Fresno. My father was born and raised in Fresno, so this really is our home. I went away to college up in Washington State for 4 years, and I definitely realized I'm a California girl, and not for the typical reasons that people think, but I was raised with fresh fruits and vegetables. My family was in farming. And
where did you go to school in Washington?
I went to Pacific Lutheran University. So my mother's Lutheran. That's how I knew about the university. She went there. It was a great school. I was able to triple major in 4 years. I studied abroad multiple times, and I couldn't have done that at a California school. Plus, they made it cheaper for me to go there than a UC. So I got a great education, but definitely taught me that I'm a California girl. So I came back to California.
Washington, but yes, California, we've got it all.
Yes,
Yes.
we do have it all, and
Yeah.
everything's in a short distance. And Fresno's a great place to live. I mean,
Yes.
I worked for a while, and then I went to law school at San Joaquin College of Law, and then I also did my MBA at the same time at Fresno State. Both very good schools. And while in that process, the nice thing about Fresno was I was able to afford to buy a home. So I actually bought a home literally right down the street from my parents. We're within walking distance of each other.
You didn't go far.
Versus my brother who lives in Southern California, he was working for 3 or 4 years as an engineer before he could even begin to afford a home. And he has a much smaller home than I do.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure you'd like to rub that in.
So Fresno is really a great place to live and has a great education system and then a lot of different ways to get involved. So I've really found a great community here to be involved in. My nonprofit I started 17 years ago when I was 14. It started with putting together school supplies, toys, and toiletries in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag that we took to Armenia. You can't necessarily tell by looking at me that I'm Armenian, but my last name is Garabedian. So
Yeah.
my father is full Armenian, and he is a local dentist, started going to Armenia to do dentistry on orphan or really poor children.
So with that's what shoebox
Yes.
sharing is.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it started with shoeboxes. A pastor, I read a book where a pastor stuck shoeboxes underneath his pews and asked his parishioners to take them home and fill them for children in Mexico. And I went, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I went with my dad to Armenia the first year. I just went to help. And when I came back, I was like, I want to do something to help the people there. Because our poorest people here in America live better than they do.
Talk to me about it. So your experience when you go there in Armenia. And I have some Armenian friends that they say it humbles you like nothing. You don't realize how good you have it until you've gone back home and seen. What was your experience like when you went there? How old were you when you went?
I was 13 years old the first time I went to Armenia.
Wow.
And the biggest difference I remember in me, to describe how humbling the experience was, I remember the year before I had a giant list of things I wanted for Christmas. We're getting into the holiday season. I'm sure people have lots of lists of what they wanted. After I went to Armenia and came back, all I wanted was money for my nonprofit to go back and help the kids there. Like the kids that come. So we go to a summer camp that's about 2.5 hours from the main city. It's probably comparable to going to Shaver. Okay. It's a lot cooler. It's nice. Kids get bused from all over Armenia to this camp. The camp's really nice. Our rooms are upgraded, and when I say they're upgraded, it means we have hot water in our rooms. Otherwise, you're getting ice cold water from the mountains to shower with. So, and we had toilet seats.
And the kids are excited.
And the kids are excited. The kids love it. It's the only time in their lives where they really get good nutrition. They get whatever gifts typically the Americans bring. So the first 2 years, we handed out tennis shoes. My dad and another dentist bought 600 pairs of tennis shoes. Mm-hmm. And so we'd make sure the kids got them. 4 years later, the kids are still wearing the same tennis shoes because they don't have anything. There's not a lot of opportunity.
No.
The country's been plagued with war and just not a lot of money and opportunities. So when we first started going, there was an architect. This woman had an architectural degree and made more money working in a shop than she would as an architect. So the country is getting better. It's starting to grow. America pours a lot of money into Armenia every year. And so things are starting to get better. They're starting to get rid of corruption and other issues like that. Interesting fact, the largest U.S. embassy in the world is in Armenia because of the countries that it surrounds. Iran, Azerbaijan, Georgia all surround Armenia, and then Turkey. So there's a pretty strong American presence in Armenia. But most families have one car. They're lucky if they have a car. The family that we stay with in Ichmiadzin, which is right next to the capital city of Yerevan, when we first started going, they were lucky if they got water 1 hour a day. And only if there was enough pressure did it come up into their building. Otherwise, they had to go down and fill up buckets. And so the bathtub would be full of water, not to take a bath in, but so that they had water to cook with or to wash clothes or whatever they needed to do, shower.
And the picture that you paint sounds miserable, but they're still proud.
Yes.
And motivated.
Yes.
And eager, even with all those challenges, and even the children too. And I'm sure you've seen that. Very thankful and just excited to be alive.
They're so appreciative and hardworking and it's an amazing culture to be a part of.
So to touch the lives of young people like that, and you going over there young, sort of what sort of that fire in your belly that said, I can do more, and I want to start something like Shoebox Sharing?
Yeah, so my motto is children helping children to be children. So my nonprofit is all about the individual connections. It's not about going after big corporate donations to do this big, amazing thing or big, amazing project, but it's about touching the lives of the individual children there. Wow. So we do that in a whole variety of ways.
So when we're gonna take a break and we'll come back, we'll still keep talking about Shoebox Sharing because I'm sure there's more to find out. How do you get involved? And like you said, there's a variety of ways. But just before the break, was there someone other than your parents that brought, when you went over there, that was that impact to you that said, I want to do this?
So there's two people. There's actually a family that we live with and brought their daughter over to live with us for a year. They're like a second family to me, and they have been instrumental in helping us. The other person is we work with basically what's like an archbishop there, Sirpazan Abraham, and he has made sure that all of my supplies are protected, that we refuse to bribe, so I've never had to pay any bribes in order to make sure that my everything that we ship is protected, and so he has been instrumental. He runs the camp and has really been instrumental in continuing to help me to do good work in Armenia.
So we're talking about Shoebox Sharing. I'm here with Kristina Garabedian. She is one of the 40 under 40, the Business Street's 40 under 40 class of 2017. You're listening to Business Leaders Live. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll talk more about Shoebox Sharing and how people can get involved, because I'm sure you need help. And it takes a team to move a mountain. And a lot of times the little hill that you move to make an impression on a young mind is the one that makes a difference in your life. So we'll talk more to Kristina Garabedian when we return right here on Business Leaders Live.
Tune in this Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. to Frontline Radio with Ben Berquam, your unashamed, unafraid political evangelist, exposing the left and mobilizing the right to stand in the Central Valley, across the state of California, and around the country. Christ, family, country. It's live. It's local. It's Frontline Radio with Ben Berquam on AM 1680. The Answer. Brought to you in part by Joe Sears, standing up for what's right in America.
Every day, Poverello House serves 1,600 meals to homeless men and women and families in Fresno County. That's equivalent to one meal for each person at a sold-out Save Mart Center concert. And we've been doing it all with a warehouse and operations center that has seen much better days. Hello, this is Cruz Avila, Executive Director for the Poverello House. Help us raise the roof and fund the construction of a new fully insulated warehouse at Poverello. Together, let's build something that will have a profound impact on our community. Donate today by visiting www.poverellohouse.org or call us at 498-6988.
This is Christy Burkhart, Executive Director of Pregnancy Care Center. Just as our clients make preparations for their little one and their excitement grows, Pregnancy Care Center has been experiencing our own preparations and building excitement. We have not only outgrown our location in downtown Fresno, but our lease will not be renewed. This is not all bad, because our client visits have increased over the years, and we have expanded our programs and services in an effort to continue our mission of building a culture of life in our community. In case you are not aware, Pregnancy Care Center is a fully licensed medical clinic offering compassionate and confidential services for those in an unexpected pregnancy. We provide completely free services to nearly 3,000 individual women and men annually. Last year, we provided more than 2,300 pregnancy tests, with 65% resulting in actual pregnancies. That was 1,529 women, and many of the men that were with them, needing our services for themselves and their unborn child. Our sonographers provided nearly half of the pregnant moms and dads with their first ultrasound to confirm pregnancy and share with them life in the womb. Last year, our men's ministry grew as we served more than 300 men with advocacy and education. So now, construction is underway, and Pregnancy Care Center will be moving to its new permanent home in the Tower District. Our new home will feature 2 times the advocacy rooms, one being specifically designated for male advocacy. It will feature expanded classroom, waiting room, and mommy boutique, small group meeting room for Bible studies, post-abortion support groups and training, conference room, and designated workspaces for admin and support teams. This new home will also feature a state-of-the-art medical suite with 2 ultrasound exam rooms and plenty of space to expand services as God leads. We know that God has great things planned for the future ministry of Pregnancy Care Center and for all those who come through our doors seeking services, young women and young men, whole families, and babies who are known intimately and valued by God. He has a plan and a purpose for each of their lives, just as He does for each of ours. Through the ministry of Pregnancy Care Center, lives are changed for now and for eternity. We offer real help and real hope to our clients, and we could not do it without the community who so graciously and generously supports the work we do. As you support the work and ministry of Pregnancy Care Center, we in turn support our community and the sanctity of human life. To give to our building fund and help us reach our construction goals, as well as being debt-free by 2020, find us at ministry.pregnancycarecenter.com. That's ministry.pregnancycarecenter.com. Thank you for partnering with Pregnancy Care Center to build a culture of life in our community. You are the key to our future.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Business Leaders Live in studio. I have one of the 40 under 40 on December 7th in downtown Fresno at Bitwise South Stadium in the John W. Dodson Theater. We're going to recognize 40 individuals for what they've done in their community, their impact before the age of 40. Kristina Garabedian, you're in studio. We've been talking about shoebox sharing, your trip as a young child going over to Armenia and experiencing the culture of your heritage, your family, and saying, I want to make a difference. And it's Give Back Tuesday, so it's perfect to have you on the program. But talk to me a little bit about how do people get involved with shoebox sharing?
So probably the most active is I have a Facebook page that's Shoebox Sharing. I also have a website that's shoeboxsharing.org, sharing, SHARING. Those are both ways that you can get in contact with me. One of the biggest things I need is for the last 13 years, we've made fleece blankets that you fringe and tie. Yeah. We make about 600 every year out of my home. They start Black Friday weekend and then go, hopefully, fingers crossed, only until the middle of January. About 250 of those go to Armenia, and the rest get distributed locally to needy kids, to a bunch of different organizations. But I always need groups to come over. You basically come over to my home. I live in Northwest Fresno, and we sit and put in movies or listen to the radio and tie blankets. So it's a project that anybody can do, which is what I like about it.
I have a feeling there's a bottle of wine involved.
Depending on the group. I have a lot of kids that come, so if it's kids, no wine involved.
Okay, no kids.
But I've had Kopi come out and do the 10-day forecast. With the kids that come, I have a group of kids that actually come from Tulare every year. Boy Scout troops, church groups,
so different groups will come in and do and put. Wow, very
it's
cool.
Easy. If you can tie your shoe, this is simpler. You can tie a knot. So it's a really easy project and fun for a lot of people to do. I've had 4-year-olds do it up into. I had a 75-year-old blind woman who came over and helped tie blankets. So. Anybody can do it. Very
cool. If Kopi can do it, then anybody can do it. No, we love Kopi. Kopi listens to the show, so he's probably listening to you right now. And going on the air, doing the weather, doing everything he does in the morning, bouncing back and forth. So they can go to your Facebook, or they can go to the website, and give that website one more time if someone didn't get to write it down.
It's shoeboxsharing.org, and that'll put you in contact with me. So you can email me, or I think it has my phone number, so you can call me either way.
Perfect. And get involved. This is a great cause. But so then you haven't been back. We talked in the commercial break. You haven't been back to Armenia. It was several years. You started going to school. Talk to me about the passion that sort of led you towards going to law school.
So I've been told since I was 3 years old that I'd be an attorney because I like to argue and I was good at it. Not just arguing for the sake of arguing, but have good arguments. I'm really a good combination of my parents. My dad is a local dentist, and after he was a practicing dentist for a while, he decided he wanted to go back to law school or go to law school. So he went to the local law school here, San Joaquin College of Law, got his law degree. He never took the bar, so he's not a practicing attorney. And then he actually wanted to get a third degree, except for my mother put her foot down when she got pregnant with me and said, no, you're going to be a dad now. And then my mom has her teaching credential and has her MBA, her business degree, and was very influential. She was in charge of affirmative action programs and was the only woman in her business classes. So I'm a really good combination of both my parents. They really pushed us to higher education. And even though we grew up in farming, the best lessons my dad ever taught me was we used to go out and work in the fields. We had grapes, we dried to raisins. It's 90 degrees outside and you're out there picking. And it was the best education that I did not want to do this for the rest of my life. I have the most respect for people who do that because it's very hard labor, but it's not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And
it was
so
your motivation.
It was my motivation.
Get to school. Yeah.
Yes.
Get to school.
to get to school, get a degree. And my parents really encouraged. They saved for us. Any money that I got from my grandparents for Christmas or birthday went into an education fund because they wanted to make sure that we came out of college with the least amount of debt possible. I mean, it's not realistic to come out of college right now without debt, but the least amount possible. They really encouraged us to save and to get whatever degrees we wanted. So
during that time frame where you were going to school, you didn't get back to Armenia, but there was a gap, and then you recently got back over?
Yeah, so I used to spend 5 to 6 weeks in Armenia every summer until I started law school. I flew to Rwanda for 2 weeks and then Armenia for 2 weeks and then flew back and started law school 3 days later. And we just didn't have a long break in law school. We'd get a 3 weeks at the beginning and the end of the summer. Wasn't really enough time to make it over there and get everything else done. And so it's been 6 years. I went back this summer for the first time. My employer was great and let me take the time off because it's hard as an attorney to take a significant amount of time off. I took 10 days off and was able to go back to Armenia. And it was great to see the family and the friends and to see the work that's still being done, even though I haven't been there in the last couple of years. My dad has, though. He's gone every single year for, I think, 15, 16 years.
Oh, well. And so now that you're an attorney, that's helped your nonprofit, I'm sure. And helping protect the nonprofit, grow the nonprofit?
Yeah, so the great thing is when we decided to form a nonprofit, my dad said, you need to do this right. And so we set up goals and we did articles of incorporation and registered with the Secretary of State and the IRS. So took care of all of that. Now, having the law degree just makes sure that I do everything and protect myself. Mine's a small nonprofit. It's also one that 100% of the donations go to the ministry. If we have to pay to ship a sea container or the Christmas letter that I just sent out, my family pays for that. The nonprofit does not. So 100% of the money that is donated goes directly to helping kids both locally here and around the world.
And that's with Shoebox Sharing, and you can go to shoeboxsharing.org, find out more information about Kristina Garabedian's nonprofit, also an attorney. She's being recognized for the 40 Under 40 if you just joined us here on Business Leaders Live. So now you're an attorney. And so then I'm sure you're involved with many boards, and we can talk about some of those boards throughout the program. But so you become an attorney. It's like a whole new world to you at that point because you seem like very intrigued by things. So you're smiling from ear to ear. So you become an attorney, and then what happens then? It's a whole new thing for you.
So part of why I became an attorney is because I like to help others. And so the one great thing about being an attorney is I'm not one of those that's in it for the money or the glory. I really want to help protect people and businesses. So it's actually my nonprofit that's really helped me become a better attorney because I understand nonprofit regulations, which helps on the boards that I've been on, as well as representing businesses. The first couple of years I did insurance defense. So it's a different type of law. Now I'm at a firm that is our attorneys for small and medium-sized businesses. So it's really about protecting our businesses and our clients, and that gives me a lot of joy and fulfillment and passion to be able to protect people.
I've noticed you're very involved with FLIP. Also, Fresno Leading Young Professionals, that's a board that you serve on. I went to the annual dinner, and you were busting your butt before the event was getting ready to start. Everybody's hustling, getting ready for that event, but very passionate about the board you serve on as well.
Yeah, so Fresno's Leading Young Professionals is a grassroots nonprofit organization designed to keep and maintain young working professionals in the greater Fresno community. We do that through monthly mixers. We're actually having our next mixer tomorrow, Wednesday. It's going to be at Mamma Mia's and Lucy's, I think it's Lucy's Lair and Tower. So come out, it's 5:45 to 7:45. We also do community service projects. We have a golf tournament that we do every year. We have our annual banquet, which is what you were at, and we recognized 5 different businesses or individuals.
I'm a Past Connect award recipient.
Oh, perfect.
I love the organization. They're great.
Yeah, so it's a great group. It's flipinfo.com if you want more information about it. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you out there on Wednesday.
So we'll talk to Kristina Garabedian when we return right here at Business Leaders Live. There's more to tell in her story. An attorney, she has shoebox sharing, and thank you for joining us every Tuesday right here.
By popular demand.
The long and the short of it is this.
Because you've asked for it.
Bob Corker is just doing the bidding of the resistance.
The Laura Ingraham Show is back on AM 1680, The Answer.
Clintons and the Obamas. The resistance resides among the Bushes.
Listen to America's #1 female conservative talk show host, Laura Ingraham. Weekdays, noon to 3.
AM 1680, The Answer.
This is Jim Franklin of Cornerstone Church. I want to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us at the historic Wilson Theater as we present the Christmas musical, The Gospel According to Scrooge.
It's one of the most beloved Christmas stories ever. A story of redemption, revelation, and God's unveiling love. The Gospel According to Scrooge. Come share the excitement of Christmas with a dynamic performance based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, The Gospel According to Scrooge.
This holiday classic has all the memorable characters, including Ebenezer Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, and of course, Tiny Tim. Bring the entire family. December 2nd and 3rd and 8th through the 11th, 7 p.m. nightly at the historic Wilson Theater in downtown Fresno. For more information and group reservations, go to cornerstonefresno.com. Don't miss The Gospel According to Scrooge.
Admission is free.
God bless us, everyone.
Hi, it's David Wilson, host of Grape Encounters Radio. Last year, I made a prediction that shocked my colleagues. I predicted that the Cardella Winery in Mendota, California, would become one of America's most beloved boutique wine producers. Now, Grape Encounters is heard coast to coast, so when you tell listeners that they'll absolutely go crazy for virtually any of the wines produced by a winery that's off nearly everyone's radar, you had better get it right. Today, Cardella Winery has amassed a truly impressive collection of gold and silver medals from some of America's most prestigious competitions. Listeners from around the country are raving about their Cardella purchases, and face it, it feels great to say, "I told you so." If you're anywhere in the Central Valley, visit the winery ASAP. The grounds are absolutely spectacular, just like the Cardella wines. You can see the winery, get directions, and even buy online at cardellawinery.com. That's cardellawinery.com.
Hello, baby. By popular demand, Dick Delgado's Rhythm Roundup Oldies Show is moving to Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. All your favorites from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. 2 full hours of the perfect cruising music to wrap up your weekend with the legendary Richard the Lion, Dick Delgado. So grab your hula hoop and slick back your hair for this sentimental trip through the valley. The Rhythm Roundup with Dick Delgado. Sundays 3 to 5 on AM 1680, The Answer.
Are you a Christian voter in the Valley who cares about social issues? Are you excited and a little nervous about the Trump presidency and what it might mean for issues like abortion? Well, if you said yes, then by golly, have I got a show for you. Tune in to Right to Life Radio with me, John Girardi, Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. right after Jim Franklin Live. We'll give you the latest news on what's happening in the pro-life movement nationwide, throughout the state of California, and even here locally. Again, that's Right to Life Radio on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1680, The Answer.
Hit it! Hi, this is Coach Gilbert Reese, trainer and owner of Heartbeat Boxing.
And I'm Valentina Reese, El Tigre. Join us for Fight City USA every Saturday from 4 to 5 on 1680 The Answer. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, the law offices of Parker, Kern, Nard, Wenzel. They specialize in employment law. They help you with employment.
Also, we'd like to thank Elizabeth Insurance. She specializes in commercial insurance for owner-operators, truck drivers, and Camiones America, a consultation company helping the new owner-operator attain their business.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's edition of Business Leaders Live. In studio, I have Kristina Garabedian. She's one of the 40 under 40, an attorney in town, and also runs a nonprofit called Shoebox Sharing. And we were talking about, in the other segment, we were talking about you'd make a good attorney because a lot of your family members said you like to argue. You like to debate. You like to argue. What Tell me a funny story maybe that motivated that, made you think about it, saying, I am good at that.
So my mother loves to tell this story about when I was 4 years old and we were at the deli counter, and you know how they have all the different salads, and I was arguing with her about why she should buy me the Jell-O salad and giving her all of these reasons apparently on why she should get me the Jell-O salad. And the man who was working the deli counter looked at my mother and was like, oh my gosh, you have to get it for her, and she's probably going to become an attorney. And so, I mean, there's tons of stories that my parents love to tell. Or we were in the car and we were going to pick up my aunt from Hawaii, and I was probably 5 or 6, and I am telling my dad that he's going the wrong way.
Yeah.
That was probably not the best example of me being a good attorney, because I probably didn't know what I was saying. But
you were very persuasive.
I was persuasive, and I was good at remembering conversations, and I didn't argue for the sake of arguing. I was actually trying to form logical arguments. I did debate when I was in high school and loved it, and then did mock trial and I did moot court in college. And so it's all about arguing and persuading the judge that your side is the right side and he should rule your way.
You know, not talking, I was just thinking mock court, and off topic, but Big Fresno Fair, their new museum. John Alcar, give props to them out there, the Friends of the Fresno Fair. Have you seen the courtroom, the old Fresno County courtroom?
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, you're going to get excited. If you go to the second floor of the Heritage Museum, and John, I apologize if I'm not getting the name right, but the new museum that they have, and it's really a reflection on Central California, Fresno, and just beautiful stuff of history of Fresno. If you go up there, the original courthouse courtroom is up there on the second floor. And it's like a scene out of Perry Mason. I mean, you walk into this thing, and they have private parties up there, and that overhang overlooks the Paul Paul Theater. So, John, you can send the check in the mail. So it's beautiful, but this museum's incredible. And if you're a fan of old courtrooms and that, in which you are, you're going to love it. But you got to go see the museum. Now, when it's open, I think he would probably give you a personal tour. Call John Alcar and tell him you want to go see it. And John, Kristina will be calling you, but it is beautiful. And what they're doing out there at the fair with that museum is amazing. But it's they take tours with kids, and it's little things like that motivate a young mind that says, wow, I want to be a part of this. And so as a young mind, you were motivated. Sometimes the words you say to a young child is an impression that molds them for the rest of their life. So it sort of segues into what you've been doing with Shoebox Sharing, and what you're doing with the boards that you serve on, so you can truly make a difference in your community. And that's why you're on this show today with Business Leaders Live. It's Give Back Tuesday. You've been giving back, and you love what you do. And you do it because it makes a difference in someone else's life. And that's why we have you in our 40 Under 40. But so you become an attorney, you're helping people, you're on the boards. Before the break, we were talking about FLIP, Fresno Leading Young Professionals. A great group to connect with other professionals that are like-minded. And what's your experience so far with that?
You know what? I've been involved with a lot of different attorney organizations, but as an attorney all day long, I don't want to spend my evenings talking about being an attorney. So It's a great way to connect people that I would never have met in any other aspects of my life. It's people from all over Fresno. We rotate our mixers. They're always at a locally owned business. So you get to experience a business that you might have been hesitant to go to or didn't want to check out. We're doing our next mixer this Wednesday at Mama Mia's and Lucy's Lair in Tower from 5:45 to 7:45. It's a great way to bring people together. A lot of people come from out of the area and they don't know what to do and they don't know how to connect with people, and so they end up leaving. This is a great organization to connect people to because you'll get to know people from all over Fresno and all different areas of life. So we're Fresno's Leading Young Professionals, but we use the term professional very loosely, and we also don't define young. So anyone can come and be a part of our organization. Our first mixer last year was at the Limelight, and we had 125 people there. So we do know that depending on where we are in Fresno, the size of our group rotates, but I think the lowest we had this year at a mixer on a Wednesday night was 80 people. So we have a lot of people that come and are a part of these.
Hey, Cody, our producer here in the studio, you need to go out and check out Flip. He needs to get connected. So we're in studio with Kristina Garabedian for just joining us, and we're talking about Fresno Leading Young Professional. That's a board you serve on, but there's other boards you serve on as well. And what are some of those boards?
So I love my law school that I went to. It's a great law school, San Joaquin College of Law. And so I'm on the alumni board. I'm currently also the liaison to the Board of Trustees. So it's a great way to give back to my law school. I also have been very involved in my church in different aspects. I'm currently on a national board that is the Committee on Appeals. So we basically only deal with if there's some major issues. So thankfully we haven't met in the last couple of years.
So any legal matters and serving in that capacity?
Yeah, so it's a lot of attorneys from across the nation that serve on that board. So it's a great way to get to know other people. And then I've served on a variety of other boards. I love to give back to the community. It's a great way to learn about what other organizations are doing. So one of the other programs I'm doing right now is Leadership Fresno, which is a program through the Chamber of Commerce, talking about old courthouses.
That's
we got
Fresno Chamber of Commerce?
Fresno Chamber of Commerce. This month we did Fresno Then and Now, and so we got to see, we had a professor from Fresno Pacific come and talk to us about all the old buildings in Fresno. He showed pictures of the old courthouse, which I had never seen, and then talked about all the things that Bitwise is doing and high-speed rail and all the different things going on in Fresno. So that's another great organization to get involved in and learn more about Fresno, because you really learn about the movers and shakers behind the scenes. And I know quite a few Leadership Fresno alumni have also been a part of the 40 Under 40 classes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to 40.com and see some of those alumni members of the past 40 Under 40 over this past decade of celebrating the wins of people like yourself that are going to be honored in the class of 2017 this year on December 7th downtown at Bitwise in their theater. And I'm a big believer in downtown. You're talking about the old courthouse. And when you looked at those pictures, the cupola, I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's on the top of the building. It's out at the museum at the Big Fresno Fair. So when you go out there, you got to check it out. John, you owe me breakfast out here. It's like, but it is. He's got so many cool things of the heritage of Fresno, and you got to go check it out. So when you saw those pictures, you can see it come back to life when you go out there to the museum. But when we return, we're talking to Kristina Garabedian. More to come. We're going to talk about shoebox sharing and more right here on Business Leaders Live.
In the future, your home's energy footprint is going to be much smaller than it is today. Energy efficiency and green building programs combined with government incentives and private ingenuity will reduce your energy consumption anywhere from 20 to 40%. Green is good, and it will save you money.
Our family at Donald P. Dick, your locally owned and operated heating and air conditioning company, and proud to be the People's Choice Award winner for the 9th straight year, reminds you to go green and save. Call today for a free estimate.
Donald P. Dick is introducing a whole house approach. Air and duct sealing, attic insulation, hot water pipe insulation. Ideas designed to drive the cost of energy down. Plus, your home could qualify for valuable energy rebates. Call Mr. Cool, Donald P. Dick Heating and Air at 255-1644. They'll show you how to save money by saving energy. For 3 generations in Fresno, it's been Donald P. Dick Heating and Air. Call 255-1644 and let Mr. Cool show you how to drive down the cost of home energy.
How do you feel about potentially leaving thousands of hard-earned retirement dollars on the table? Well, chances are it may make you sweat a little. If you fail to maximize your Social Security benefits during retirement, you could be doing just that. Financial Engines can help you get the most out of your Social Security benefits, and we're hosting a live event to show you how. This event, Maximizing Your Retirement and Social Security Benefits, will be held December 7th in Fresno. You can register by visiting financialengines.com and clicking on the live events link at the top of the homepage. Whether you're planning for retirement or already retired, you'll learn how to optimize Social Security with your other retirement benefits to help increase the odds that your retirement savings will last a lifetime. Join us on December 7th in Fresno for our exclusive live event, Maximizing Your Retirement and Social Security Benefits. The event is complimentary, but space is limited, so call 559-434-9800 to reserve your seat now. Or visit financialengines.com, click the live events link there at the top of the homepage.
Want the inside scoop on an area? Locals always know. Want an inside advantage in your job search? Then you rely on a staffing local. We're Spherion, a 65-year workforce leader with a distinct local focus. Just last year, we helped 160,000 individuals find exciting careers. I'm Glenna Gates, and my team knows the Central Valley area well. More than a business, this is our home, and we have connections to the area's most respected companies. Gain a local career advantage and call Spherion at 559-251-4040 or visit us on the web at spherion.com.
From the Pacific Justice Institute,
This is The Legal Edge, defending your rights as a Christian, a parent, and a citizen. Here's Brad Dacus.
Pacific Justice filed a friend of the court brief asking the Supreme Court to review a ruling by the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals in an asylum case. Despite solid evidence that Ting She was persecuted and tortured in China because of his Christian faith, the 10th Circuit denied his request for religious asylum. However, the Department of Justice, under Attorney General Sessions, decided to remand She's case to the Board of Immigration Appeals, which ultimately granted asylum to Mr. She. PJI is thrilled that BIA made the right decision to not throw Mr. She back into the lion's den.
The Pacific Justice Institute provides legal representation to individuals without charge. Learn more at pacificjustice.org. That's pacificjustice.org.
This is Hugh Hewitt for Larry Holiday and the Holiday Diaz team at RBC Wealth Management. When thinking about retirement, most of us have questions such as how many years before I can retire? How much money do I need to retire? How will I pay for my later years in life? At RBC Wealth Management, they can help answer those questions and design a customized plan to meet your specific financial goals. If you have any questions about retirement, call Larry Holiday at RBC Wealth Management, 559-447-8213. 559-447-8213.
RBC Wealth Management is a division of RBC Capital Markets, LLC, member NYSE, FINRA. Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody. If you want to listen to past episodes of Business Leaders Live, you can go to lancecardoza.com. You can listen to all the past episodes. That's Lance Cardoza, CARDOZA.com. And you can hear today's episode. It'll be posted on the website later on today. And then you can join us live every Tuesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Business Leaders Live. In studio, I have Kristina Garabedian. We've been talking about our nonprofit organization, Shoebox Sharing. She's an attorney in town, and also she serves on many boards, and she loves to give back. On this Give Back Tuesday, a perfect time to have you on our program. Let's talk, Kristina, let's talk a little bit about, we talked about Flip and talked about some boards that you serve on, but we also want to talk about your organization, the blankets that you do. We're talking about the organizations you help serve and get those too.
So for the past 13 years, we've made the fleece blankets that you fringe and tie. We do about 600 every year. And my focus is really giving them to needy kids, because kids are the section of our population that are least able to help themselves. So about 250 go to Armenia. That's where the start of my nonprofit started, was giving back in Armenia. But then I also want to give back to our local community, because people here are in need. And if you've ever received one of these fleece blankets, they are soft and cuddly, and they just, to me, they tell someone that somebody else cares about them. Yeah. So
is there anything on the blanket? There's like a tag or anything that?
There isn't. I've thought about doing an embroidery or something. It's not something that you can do like an iron-on patch or something like that.
Yeah.
Saying that they're from Shoebox. But we are very, we pay attention to the patterns that we do. So we try not to do anything that's Bulldog Gang affiliated. We don't do the blankets that say, I love mommy, I love daddy, because a lot of the kids that get our blankets are abused. Yeah, skulls and crossbones, things like that. We want them to be very neutral and really friendly and uplifting. So the nice thing is I've worked with the local Joannes for 13 years. The employees there know me. They help make it a really easy process. And so I'm very grateful to them, and then all the volunteers that come. Because honestly, at this point, people keep asking me, are you going to keep doing this? I've done blankets for 13 years. It's literally all out of my house. And as long as I have the volunteers that love to do it, and I have the support of the community, there are always organizations that can use the blankets. So this year, our plan right now is we always give to the Bulldog Food Pantry. It's not the student cupboard. It's the one that supports the community around, done out of the Lutheran Campus Ministry Building. They go to the Marjorie Mason Center. They go to Valley Children's Hospital, to their Child Advocate Center, which sees kids when there's an allegation of abuse. So they actually get to use the blanket during the exam instead of a sheet. So it helps make it a little bit more of a comforting, as comforting of an experience as it can be. Yeah. Mid-era child abuse prevention, and then Lighthouse Rescue Sanctuary. This year, as part of the Leadership Fresno class, our project is at American Union. elementary school, which is in Easton. And so our hope this year is to be able to give every single kid a blanket there. They have 338, so we'll see if I can do that on top of everything else. But we hope to at least have a significant amount of blankets for them as well.
So during the holiday period, that's when you say you mobilize and you get different groups to come in to help make the blankets. And they're the type of blankets where you tie on the end. So it's a lot of hand labor and putting everything together. So different groups can get involved. And if someone wants to do that, or an organization that wants to get involved, they can always go to shoeboxsharing.org and they can send you a message. And is that the best way to get a hold of you there, or on your Facebook?
Or Facebook. Those are the two best ways, and they should both have my email and my phone number, so you can get a hold of me. My home is in Northwest Fresno. That's where everything happens, and any group can come over. I tend to do evenings or weekends, so if you're interested in volunteering, it's a really easy project. If you're adults, we'll probably have a glass of wine for you. I love to bake, so we'll have baked goodies, and then we pop in movies and just sit and have fun.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun. So like students, you were talking about Fresno Pacific University has students that come out as a project.
Yeah,
and do this too.
So I have friends from my church who have gone to Fresno Pacific University, and I think it's called like Christ in the Community class, are required to do. It used to be 10 hours. It could be more or less now of service in the community. And so they would come over and over a weekend get their 10 hours out and just have fun and learn about Armenia and the different places that the blankets go. And then a lot of them end up going back and buying the blankets to make for family members. So it's really a full circle project.
Very inspiring what you're doing. And I know a lot of people, business leaders, listen to other business leaders, and they're motivated by your story. And you're always motivated by other people's, their story. What makes them tick? What makes them get out of bed and get excited about business and what you're doing in your community? If there's anything you could tell somebody, a young person in business that's trying to figure out their way, and a person that's been in business for years and always hungry for education and more, if there's something you could tell somebody that you've learned in either being an attorney, your nonprofits, working on the boards with others, what would you tell somebody, a bit of advice that you would give them?
So I'll give the same advice that my dad gave me when I was young. Ask. All people can say is no. And if they say no, you're no worse off. But if they say yes, then you're better off. So people always talk about how good I am at fundraising. I've done it as a job. I do it for my nonprofit. It's not because I like asking people for money. I don't think anybody ever likes asking people for money or to donate things, but it's about, and in any aspect of business, ask people. All they can say is no. And if they see that you're passionate about something, I think that's the biggest thing, is finding something that you're passionate about and excited about, because that excitement is contagious.
Yes.
And so the best ask is always the one where I don't have to ask you for money or volunteers or whatever. You say, what can I do to help you? Because you see the passion behind what you're doing. So be excited about what you're doing.
I think, and I take a page out of that book as well. When you get a no, it's almost like an attorney. You search for the truth. Like, why are you saying no? I'm excited about this. Why aren't you excited about it? And then you just want to find out information, and that information is power. And a lot of times you help fulfill the need or the issue that they're having, or help them see the forest through the trees that you see. So I always tell people to, don't get discouraged by no. No just means yes. You just have to find yes in that no, because it feels so much better to say yes. And if you could have somebody say yes all day long, it just makes life better. So I think a lot of times is you search for the truth and you talk to them and you try to find out. So all those tips and tricks we like to share with business people all the time. You could be in business and be very successful and always hunger for more and always looking for more education. Before we go to this quick break here, when we come back and we wrap up Business Leaders Live, Kristina Garabedian is going to share something that maybe someone doesn't know about you. So you're pretty out there. You're ready to tell everybody what you're all about. So think about that. When we go to break, we'll return with more Business Leaders Live and wrap up this edition with Kristina Garabedian, the 40 Under 40 honoree.
Hello, television viewers in the San Joaquin Valley. Remember the good old days of live TV when anything could happen? Remember the best music of yesteryear like Count Basie, Tommy Dorsey, and Harry James? Remember those old-time TV programs like The Jack Benny Show, Burns and Allen, and The Bob Cummings Show? Mix it all up with live in-studio guests and taking phone calls from viewers just like you. What do you have? You have a show like no other in the country each week on KGMC Channel 43.5, Antenna TV, and Comcast Cable Channel 378. Tune your television sets at 7 p.m. every Saturday night for 6 hours of entertainment on the Flying Home with Ronnie Paul show. It's Flying Home with Ronnie Paul each Saturday night from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m. on KGMC Channel 43.5 and Comcast Cable 378.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Thank you for staying with us for this edition of Business Leaders Live in studio. Kristina Garabedian. Loved your story, shoebox sharing, everything that you're doing. Armenia, near and dear to my heart. A lot of Armenian friends here in Fresno, and I've heard the stories of their travels and you going over there and seeing youth and knowing you can make an impact in their lives and doing shoebox sharing. You can check her out at shoeboxsharing.org or go on her Facebook also with Shoebox Sharing. And she's an attorney in town, and you're going to be recognized in the 40 Under 40, so we're excited about that. The Business Street's 40 Under 40. You can see it at 40u40.com to see the whole class. Before the break, we mentioned that we're going to have you share something that someone doesn't know about you. So maybe a passion. What is that about Kristina Garabedian that someone might not know?
So I'm sharing something that a lot of people know, only because it's really a passion of mine, but I love to bake. My thing right now is to take candy bars and make a cupcake inspired by that candy bar. My law school friends know I baked literally every week. It's my stress reliever, and would bake and bring it to school. So it was nice because I had tons, between my MBA and law school, I had tons of people to give my stuff to. Now I just have my office, which is small, and they don't want me to make them all fat. So I have to scale back the amount of baking that I do.
Do you do sugar-free baking? Any sugar-free?
I'm actually gluten-free and sugar-free, so I can't taste most of the stuff that I make, which is the other unique thing, is that I can't taste it. So, so yes, I do.
Would you like to put smiles on faces?
I do.
You do. My daughter, Zoe, she's a go-getter like you, 100 miles an hour, constantly go, 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 very excited about everything, and she likes to bake, and I think it's therapeutic.
Yes.
I think it makes her slow down and think about, that looks good. And then she doesn't eat her stuff, and everybody says it tastes so good. But it's great. So that's your passion. That's a passion that you have that is a stress reliever.
Yes.
And if you go and do the blanket tying party for shoebox sharing, you can maybe taste some of your treats that you'll put together.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for being on Business Leaders Live. Appreciated your time. Thank you for being here. You're going to be celebrating 40 Under 40 on December 7th, and encourage everybody to go to 40u40.com and nominate somebody after January 1st for the class of 2018. Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in your closet, the back of your closet. What am I doing here? Would you keep caviar in the back of your fridge with the ketchup and old milk? Yeah, I don't think so. So what happened to us? I mean, have you seen my label? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind